So we wanted to talk about being creative and like, I don't know, that's a very broad topic, which
Yeah,
I guess
but
is
like
fine.
the frustrations that come with the creative process. Because I was talking about this with Eunice of like, because she
Hmm.
records covers sometimes, and me too. So when we're recording covers, it's so annoying because every time we record
Right.
it, you listen to it, you're like, okay, that's not bad, and then you keep listening to it, you're like, oh my gosh, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better.
Yeah.
It just never ends.
I mean, that's the thing about like trying to do things like creatively as someone who's a little insecure, right? It's like you feel the need and the drive to create, but you you're just like, hey man, is this good enough? Does
I
it
feel
matter if
Yeah.
that.
it's good enough? Yeah,
So
I mean,
annoying.
it's never good enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it never
Yeah.
is.
At some point, you just have to settle for less.
Yeah, you just settle.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Like, I think that might be the wrong way of going about it, which might be hypocritical of me because I just unlisted my videos. But I think, like, I don't think you should be so micro focused, so micro. Like you shouldn't be creating with such a micro perspective, like where you're
Hmm.
viewing each individual project and you're viewing each individual mistakes at such a micro detailed level, right? You should be more like, I mean, being a fool is the first step to being a master, right?
I
There are
mean,
a
so how do
bunch of
you
quotes
do
like
it?
that.
How do you go about it?
I mean, I've recorded. I mean, for the two covers that I've posted, I probably recorded like 10 more that like
Hmm.
I've done nothing with, and like
Yeah.
probably I have like five other covers that I've recorded, and then I just immediately deleted them. It's like
Sounds
I worked on
accurate.
them, I recorded them, I mixed them, I put on my effects and my EQs. I'm just like, hey, my guitar sounds pretty good. My voice,
Hmm.
eh, eh, yuck.
I feel that. Except minus the mixing and all that, because I don't know how to do that. Just put on an instrumental, just sing over it.
I just put a little bit of ambiance and a little bit of reverb. That's it. And like
Yeah.
compress a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because I enjoy that part. I mean, like that stuff's fun to me. Honestly, I would record stuff just so I could mix.
Yeah. I mean, at the least, it's like good practice. You get to
Right.
like practice
Yeah.
mixing and stuff.
The thing about mixing though is like I don't have really a base mark of like what's good and what's bad. So I'm just like making things sound good enough to my ears. I'm just like, this is good enough to me. But I have
Yeah.
no idea if what's good enough to me is good enough for other
Hey, that's
people, right?
true.
Well, that's the
It's
point,
Yeah.
like
though, I feel like. I mean, like, if you're doing it solely for a creative outlet, then isn't it enough that, you're just satisfied? That's how I see it. That's why, like, some covers, I'm just like, well, I like it, and I know I'm not going to be super mad about it later. So then I'm like, okay, it's fine.
I mean, I guess that would be true for my like from like if I'm actually doing the performative aspect of it, like the actual music part. But I feel like for mixing and mastering, there's like so much of it is personal preference and so much of it is like a stylistic choice too. But I think like there is a line in the sand that like divides bad mixes and good mixes, but I just don't know where that line is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because you can get better at your craft. Like,
Oh,
but I
that's
I
mean,
mean, but if you
always.
if you don't know exactly what better is, right?
right.
If you're having fun, then, I mean, what else can you ask for?
Yeah. But then
Unless you're actually trying to get
it
better.
starts off as fun and then it ends with misery.
That's very true.
Like I
There's so
start
many,
off
yeah.
with excitement and then I end with misery. Yeah.
I mean,
I
but why
think
is that? Why?
I think it's a slight disappointment because I start with hope and then once I get to my 40th take, I'm just like, wow, this is my limit. Like I can't get better. Like I guess
You've
it's a slight
plateaued.
disappointment. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, and I guess I can't say this. Like for me, when I posted, like you guys were like, "Hey, he just posted." That's fine. And it doesn't go
Hmm.
beyond like, "Wow, this guy kind of sucks." It's like, "Wow, he was flat at like this, and this time." Or maybe you guys did do, right? But I think often like when people in our like immediate community post things online, it's never like a harsh critique, but it's more like, "Hey, okay," and then you forget about it, right? It's just like
Yeah.
you
I,
move
I
on.
mean, you are your own harshest critic. Like, no one's gonna sit there watch your video for like 20 hours straight like
Because
we
no
do for
one
ourselves.
cares enough about you
No
to
one
Exactly.
cares.
really dig in.
Yes, that is the main thing. No one cares, everyone. No one
Yeah.
cares.
Keep it in
So
the
that
back of
means
your head.
you have to post all your covers now, Eunice.
I did post one, but
Really?
no one knows about it, or one person knows about it because I don't know. I don't want to share my YouTube channel.
Okay, well now it's out in the open. You just exposed
I
yourself.
mean, if you can find me, but I doubt it.
Okay, then I have a question. Then what's the difference between just recording a cover and keeping it on your laptop as opposed to recording a cover and then posting it to a YouTube channel that no one knows about?
You just feel like it's out there, like you, because if you keep it on your laptop, it's just on
Yeah.
your laptop. But if you post it,
It's
it's
like
like
out there,
you did an
somewhere.
action. Yeah.
But
It's
it's
just
not out there because no one knows about it.
no,
It's
it's
out
just
there.
it's
It's
just a
not
mental.
private.
Just
It's public.
let us be.
See,
Yeah.
I guess I took a greater risk because I have 16 subscribers. You know?
Yeah, I have
Not
0.
to flex on you, Eunice.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, I posted it, and then my boys made a little huff about it in our group chat. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
right? It's just like, you know, gas me up. But also, I feel terrible that you guys have seen this and listened to this, and like, it's like, man, I waste like 6 minutes of your life?
No.
That was their choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about how some people are why not. They're driven by the question why not, and some other
Yeah.
people are driven by the question of why. I think I'm a why not person because I don't know, life is too short. What's the worst that can happen? You die? Actually, that's not the worst that could happen.
It's because we're young.
That's true. Everything feels like forever for us because we're so young.
Yeah. Imagine our parents. We asked the same question to our parents.
Yeah.
They have a lot to lose.
That's true. But that's why, like, while you're young, it's why not? Don't overthink it too much. Just do it.
You know, you asked that question, and I don't have a literal answer of like, you know, actually I can probably like if it's a specific question you're asking why not, I think I can come up with answers. But I think it comes down to personalities, right? Like on the ocean, I score high on neuroticism, and specifically within neuroticism, I score high on anxiety. So it's just like you ask the question why not, and that's just an anxiety feeling question.
There's just too many
Hey,
answers.
there's an infinite number of possibilities, right? Everything
Yeah.
can be a slippery slope if you think about it enough.
But everything could be good too. There's like a flip side.
But like, hey man, you know, what can go wrong? A lot of things. A freaking lot of things. I think, you know, like we joked about how we were all in high school and depressed and that's how we know each other.
Yeah, it's the
But it's
reality
like
though.
like when you've experienced the low, like it's like, do I like want to take a risk? Like this could put me in a low. I'm not
Right.
sure how, but it could,
Yeah.
right? It's like you never know what could put you in that dark place again. It's just like so I've been doing pretty good up till now, like doing what I've been doing. So why should I change the formula and
Mhm.
risk something happening, right?
Mm,
Well, I guess it's
makes
the same.
sense.
Is yeah. The flip side is, you know, if you don't risk anything, you're not going to gain much either. Like,
hmm
Mhm.
or you have the oh god, the horrible possibility, the terrifying possibility of having the rug pulled out from under you, right? It's like, oh, I've been doing everything right, but I guess the formula doesn't work anymore. Ooh, that scares me, man. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you mean I'm growing up and I need to move out? It's like this is something I thought about today because I had lunch with my mom and dad,
hmm
and then she picked up the receipt and was like, oh, it's so expensive. It's like $63 for a meal for 3 people. I'm just like, I was doing the math. I was like, you're right, $20 a meal. But it's like I get to eat this for free. It's like, and I thought about my sister who moved out. It's like she doesn't get to eat this. It's like I was just like, I don't know where am I going with this, but it was just food for thought. Like it just made me think. It's like
Literally food for thought.
time's arrow neither stops or speeds up. It simply marches on.
Yeah. It gets faster when you get older too.
I mean, it just feels that way, right?
Yeah. But that's why, like, when you're young, you just jump around and do things.
right? I mean, if there's ever a time to make mistake, is when you have the most time.
So if you could go back in time, you would change things.
Well, that in
Ooh.
itself is a scary prospect. Like, but I'm saying like if no strings attached, I would, you know, I would not let 16-year-old Daniel get his hair bleached by his mother.
Yeah. I don't
That's a
know
good
if I would
question.
change. Yeah, I don't know if I would change things because
Hmm.
I just don't know how it would affect me now. Well, I feel like I don't really believe in regret anymore because
You
like
definitely don't.
it
I
just
always.
no, because it's like it already happened. What is regret gonna do for me? You know what I mean? Like or like dwelling in your regret. I think it's natural to regret things and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But I think now I see everything as like a learning experience more than like, oh man, like I should have changed this. Like what could have been different if I did this or that.
But as cliche as it sounds, it shaped who you are now. So,
But some things I think about, I'm like, that was really dumb.
oh
Should not have
yeah,
done that.
yeah.
Or the opposite too, of like, oh, I should have done that. I feel like that's how I felt when I graduated high school and like got into college. I think the biggest thing I regretted was not talking to more people in high
No,
school,
yeah,
like becoming
yeah.
friends with people. Cause I had the mentality of like, I'm never gonna see these people in my life ever again. But lo and behold, most of my close friends are from high school, or like the people I keep in touch with. I still keep in touch with like a handful of people.
I kind of regret just sticking to my Korean friends.
Yeah, staying in the bubble.
Yeah, I think I stayed with a lot of them because it just felt comfortable that way. I mean, they're all like good people. They're like fun people too, but I think I wanted to get to know everybody, but I was too scared to do that. Again, risk taking.
I was really afraid to take risks in high school.
Yeah.
I think I regret being passive. Like I think I took things very passively. Um, I guess that's just true in general. You know, I'm a very much why person as opposed to a why not person. But yeah, like I'd say if anything, I don't regret the things that I do, right? I think that much is true. I think I regret more the things that I didn't do or the things that I neglected, right? It's like cuz like I think if I make a mistake, my natural defense is just to say it is what it is, you know? Hey, worrying about the mistakes not going to do anything. But I think I do get hung up on what ifs a little bit more than that. Not that I spend my nights thinking about this stuff either. Like I think generally I don't live a very regretful life. But like if I were to, I think I'd be a lot more hung up on my what ifs rather than my like what if nots. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. Because that's how I felt for the majority of coming out of high school. And even now, like in the middle of college, I'm still like, dang, I didn't change at all because I still only hung out with the same people. And I think literally from UCLA, I only have like one or two friends, which is really sad because I spent a lot of my time in the dorms just studying or like doing whatever or just staying with the people who are like from the area. So I was like, wow, I didn't change at all, which sucks.
Yeah, man. College is whack. Oh no.
I don't know. Eunice and I were really looking forward to you becoming like a big filmmaker.
It's never too
Yeah.
late,
No,
right?
we're still looking forward
Yeah,
to
we're
it.
still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it feels weird to think that that was something I really wanted, right? It makes me question if I even really wanted it because I never watch movies. I never watched movies, even when I was a film major. But it's just like it's just something I chose because I felt like I had to choose something when I
Hmm.
like for my major. Like I just didn't want to be an undeclared guy because I felt like my personality, if I went in undeclared, I would stay undeclared for like as long as I could,
That's true.
and then I'll just be like, well, I gotta choose something. What prereqs have I done? What's the easiest way out of college? But you know,
Yeah.
I guess it didn't matter in the end because I dropped out anyways.
Aren't you going back though?
We'll see. Anyone remember much about statistics?
AP stats?
Like anything about statistics? Okay, so you know how like so one significant figure away from the center is like what is that? Like 20% of the population? Well, anyways, my point is like it's weird that there's such a heavy emphasis on college because realistically, a small percentile of the population actually finishes college and holds like white collar jobs, right? I don't know if this pressure to like go to college, get a degree, work in a career that's like in the ivory tower, is that like, is this something like actually grounded within like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's also like influenced by culture too, and like
I
the
mean,
way
yeah,
you grew up.
right.
Because in Asian American culture, it's very like you have to do that. That's like a given.
But the reality is like how many people within the Asian like immigration like Asian American like families can say, "Oh yeah, for generations my family has gone to college." Like I think actually very few people can even say like my grandparents went to college. Like I think that's actually very rare because my parents didn't. Like my dad went to like a vocational like school or some kind of like trade school, I think, or like some kind of college, like some kind of like higher education. But my mom didn't go to college. And then for sure, my grandparents, none of them like went into higher education. It's just like, and I think that's actually fairly common. Like, and like if you, especially if you include the people who like are working jobs that don't require a college degree, so maybe they did go to college in Korea, but then they came here and they're not working in a field like that's related. It's like, hey man, there are a lot of people out here like with a heavy emphasis on college, but the reality is like their families have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you look at all the health disparities and stuff, in the education portion of how that affects that, it only goes up to like high school education because that's like the main education that actually really matters a lot, whether you get a high school degree or not. But after that, it's more of like incremental influence, I think. So I feel like the emphasis on education, it probably differs between cultures, but I think the most important thing is getting a high school degree because that gives you, that opens like a lot more opportunities for you than even like just getting
Because that's like the
college.
bare minimum of like
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
like requirements, right?
Yeah, but like I mean, I feel like we know a lot of people who got college degrees, but they might not use it right now, or
Yeah.
it's not super
Well,
relevant, or like they just wanted to go into something else, so now they're doing
mhm.
something totally different.
Right. I think like I'm just struggling with that like disillusionment, that idea that like, oh, everyone who's like, because you like I remember all the lectures like sitting in like my computer class or something. It's just like, hey, if you get a college like degree, you make X amount of more money on average than someone
Mhm.
without a college degree. It's like you're putting that emphasis on upon like an entire generation of like people. It's just like, but there's a reason why it's higher than average. Is because like few people do it. Like relatively speaking, not everyone gets there. That's why. That's the only reason it's higher than average. If everyone got there, we would all just be average, right? So it's just like you're like instill like I don't want to say it's wrong to give kids dreams, but you're instilling everyone with this idea that like you can be better than average, you know?
Mhm.
But it's like, is that true? It's like, can I be better than average?
I think these days though, it's very the environment is very like everyone is number one, everyone gets a prize, that type
But
of
that's just
thing.
not true. Like, I don't know, man. So what are the ramifications of telling an entire generation that they're gonna be better than average? Like, for an entire generation of human beings, it's like, hey, you're gifted. Welcome to the GATE program. And then you're gonna become super lazy and you're gonna drop out. Like I see those memes all the time talking about like, oh, gifted
Yeah.
in elementary school, but then got super lazy in high school. But it made me think, it's like if everyone relates to this, is it true? Were we all gifted and were we all like and I think like there are people out there with an unhealthy idea of what success and what their potential is.
Mhm.
When we say like college isn't for everyone, it's kind of a meme, right? Because you like people like me say it. People who dropped out and are generally lazy people. It's like, hey, college isn't for everyone. Yay, pat on the back. But it's true. Just because someone is capable of it doesn't mean that it's right.
It doesn't have to be,
I mean,
because
college
I
isn't for everyone, but like we act like it is.
Yeah, that's the
yeah, that's
problem.
true. I mean, I guess the
Yeah.
main problem here is that our words, there's a discrepancy between our words and our actions,
Mhm.
and the
Right.
way that culture is set up and society is set up.
Maybe it's because we're in a bubble of like we're in a bubble of affluent people within like a more urban metropolitan area. Like
Hmm.
we live in the LA basin. It's like we live in a very like advanced section of the world. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, everyone here should go to college, but should they? Not really, right? It's just like like on an individual basis, wouldn't it be great? Of course it'd be great. Like, do I want to go to college, get my degree, get a nice paying job, and like spend my weekends like woodworking in my 3 car space garage? That sounds freaking amazing. But is that gonna happen? I mean, if I work hard enough, right? Apparently, according to the American dream. But
If you work hard
statistically,
enough.
I like the odds are against me. It's like very few people achieve that. Why tell people you can go to college and then they major in like dance theory? I don't know, man. I don't know. Should we be like pandering to everyone in the population? If you train a generation to believe that they're meant for college and they're meant for higher education, but statistically, the majority of them are probably not gonna like make it. You're just setting those kids up with student loans and failure. It's like everyone Gen Z, if you don't have a college degree, worthless.
Yeah, but like that's kind of the reality of how people feel. And I think even Eunice felt kind of, when you were doing vocational school, you were feeling kind of like, oh man, what will other people say?
So
Right?
I think the biggest worry for me was because when I was actually going to college, I was like, I'm on my pathway to something, you know. I'm studying different things. I'm doing general ed, but I didn't really like the feeling where like I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I'm still preparing myself to like go out into the real world. I'm just like, why am I wasting my first 2 years doing like just random general ed classes, right? And when I finally got into the nursing program, I was just like, wait, I felt so at peace because I'm studying everything for my career. Like everything I'm doing is for a purpose. Like everything will be of use in the future. And I think that gave me a lot of peace because I went to a college and my friend went to college, the girl who's doing the nursing program with me, and we're just like, we're doing it. I mean, we had an idea of what we're going to do in the future, but like, that didn't motivate me. That was not enough to motivate me to study even harder. And that's why I think I am actually studying harder in my vocational school because I realize that I'm doing these things because I'm studying for pharmacology or I'm studying for these things because, wow, I have to know these things to take care of a patient, you know? And like the fact that college is just, it's like another high school and then it's like a high school 2.0, I think.
Right, because everything's catered and focused. Like I think like the analogy I thought of when you were talking is like going to college feels like you're in the ocean and like you're told to swim. It's like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
swimming, but where are you swimming? As
Yeah.
opposed to like going to a vocational or trade school, it's like you're put in a swimming pool at one end and there's a goal at the other end. It's like swim there. Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going for that. But like when you're just given the options, it's just like you're just in the ocean. You're just like choose somewhere to go. Are you gonna live? I don't know. It's like tough
True.
luck. It's like
That's
it's
a
like
good
I mean,
analogy.
like you both like people will drown in both the pool and the ocean. But it feels kind of better when you're in the pool because, like, hey, at least I know where I'm supposed to go,
Yeah. At least you see it, you
right?
know?
It's like you're in the ocean. Just choose somewhere to swim. Okay, I'll make it. I'm like 17, 18, but this is fine. It's like
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, maybe you guys are given the same tools. You guys are given the same like floaties or whatever.
we're
But
both swimming.
yeah, but it's kind of a different environment.
Like, if college works for you, great. Okay. But a lot of us, it just doesn't work. Okay. And I
Yeah.
think that's something I really had to struggle with because okay, the person that I am, I'm actually in a like healthier place, obviously, but I used to really care about what people thought or what people would say. But okay, well, if I'm actually swimming to something, I think I can live with that. Yeah, I think that's why this vocational nursing program actually not only helped me with my career, like my study habits, I guess my mental health too, my emotional health. I think it helped me become pretty well rounded, like overall, or just I got a lot healthier from high school or from like the first 2 years of college. Like I became a lot healthier in the way I think. But college wasn't for me. So 2 out of 3 people in this podcast, college wasn't it.
If
Yeah.
you take this very, very skewed and biased sample size, 66% of the population will not go to college.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
You know,
because I mean, I'm in nursing school too, right? But the difference between your program and my program is like we have to take all these extraneous classes. Like I remember taking calculus in like the beginning of freshman year, and I was like, I'm literally never going to use this. Like, what am I gonna do? Make a sine graph of the liver or something? Like, I'm
Yes.
never gonna use this, you know? And I would have to take like GEs because I guess they wanted us to be well-rounded. So I would have to take like, I don't know, the history of like, I don't know, Italian Renaissance or something. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm like spending money to go to these classes for these like liberal arts general education requirements. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to be taking care of patients like you are. Like, we're going to be in the same space, generally speaking. But I
But
just have to
then,
pay way more and take way more classes.
I mean, but then if that works for you, then that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, so I really like it because I really like learning in that kind of setting.
Hmm.
And I think I actually do really like studying. I just hate being like forced to take tests and stuff.
That's a
You
gift
know what I
right
mean?
there.
But I do
Okay.
like learning. I do like studying and I enjoy it if I get to do it on my own accord. But
Hmm.
it's like when I'm forced to do that, I just don't like it.
So I think the conclusion I can take from this is let us do what we want to do.
Or it's not even just that, but it's like let yourself choose what's best for you because
Right.
sometimes you know that other people are supporting you, but you're still like, oh, I feel like this, I can't do this because like, oh, it's just like this is not right, or like I have to go to college
Hmm.
because it was so ingrained in you and you were so brainwashed to think that way. But sometimes it takes a lot of courage to be like, well, I don't like the culture I'm living in, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna make one for myself.
Daniel, what did your parents say when you were making the decision to drop out?
I think I'm actually maybe a bit of an outlier, is that my parents are super chill. It's like I don't have the stereotypical like tiger mom, like super hard Asian parents. Because like my mom, bless her soul, she just wants me to be happy and like
Oh,
safe.
amen.
Like she doesn't
Thank
necessarily want me to
God.
be successful, but she wants me to be stable and like happy in life. Yeah, I think my mom is very wise. Not like not very intellectual. Not saying my mom's a dummy. I think my mom's pretty smart, but like she's not like really cerebral, you know? But she's wise. And then my dad, um I don't know. I think he's worried for me, and I think, but the only reason I know that is because he like occasionally asks me, it's like, hey, what are you doing with your life? It's like, are you gonna go back to school? I'm just like, I don't know, bro. Right? So
Yeah.
we don't really talk about it much. We don't really talk much at all. But like I think it's in there in the back of his head. He thinks about it, but you know, like I don't think he's like I don't think either of my parents are worried because I think generally I'm a fairly independent and I think I'm fairly competent, right? It's like I'm working at a job that where like I'm making more than like the majority of my peers, right? My age group. My mom is more of the breadwinner, but she's the one without a college degree, right? Like she's like
Mhm.
just her personality is that she's super hardworking and she's super like diligent and she's super like she perseveres. She just has the ability to sit down and do things, which honestly I think I might be similar in terms of a job. Like I can't sit down and do school. I don't know. Something about school is not good for me. But like when it comes to like just working, like I can do that. Yeah. I mean, I've been working a job for like two different jobs, one first and then the other for how many years now? I mean, I've been working for like 3, 4 years. And like I've never had a problem with like working the job. It's like I didn't love every second of it. Like I love my weekends, but
Mhm.
it's like I never had an existential crisis about my job.
Yeah.
Whereas school, that's a different story.
Yeah. I think people struggle with working a job. Like I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, and if that works for you, then that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I have coworkers who are like, you know, older and they're making it work. I'm just like, "Man, I could literally be in the same position for like the next 10 years. Honestly, I make the same amount as like some bachelor degree holders do. It's
Yep.
like, hey, man, I'm making decent money. I take a little test, get a certification, I get a raise. I should probably go do that.
You should do
Yeah,
that.
you
I should
should.
do that. I've been at this job for like 1.5 years and I haven't done it.
You should do that.
I should do that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna say that, but then you're like not gonna do
I'm
it
not gonna
until
do
we. Come on, we know you too well now.
You know, beginning of quarantine, I was like, you know what? I'm not in school. I should get that certification. Have I got it? No. It's been
Yeah,
a full year of quarantine and lockdown, but
I know. I think there are a lot of I should statements in your head.
oh yeah, for sure. Maybe I should start side hustling. Maybe I should legit like try to make wallets and sell them on Etsy.
We've been
Maybe.
telling you that this whole time,
But nah,
but
the market is already so hyper saturated. It's like I'd
no, but
realistically be only
still.
selling to my immediate community, and that's gonna last me like 1 or 2 years. Maybe I'll do it, and then I'll get brigaded by a bunch of vegans.
Oh gosh. Yeah, wait until that day. But yeah, I think you're not the type of person who were like, oh, we're worried about him. I wonder how Daniel's doing. We're really worried about
Yeah.
him. We've never thought
I
that. I
don't think
don't
we've
think people usually,
ever
yeah.
like
For
we're
some other
worried.
friends we do, but
We're just like,
not you. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I definitely was that person. Like I think if I kept like certain mannerisms and my personality from high school, I think if I was my own friend, I'd be like, damn, this guy is gonna like be homeless in a couple of years. It's like this guy's gonna end up dead in a ditch somewhere. It's like if this guy didn't believe in God, like
oof.
this guy would be a legit heathen. Like he'd be out there living a hedonistic life, like just trying to smash and do drugs and like just
Yeah.
crash and burn, baby.
I mean, I think all of us were kind of like, we were concerning when we were in high school. Maybe
You
just
know,
to different degrees.
I'd either be like living it up, or I'd be like this one's probably more realistic. I'd probably be like the sorriest, most antisocial nerd, just like sitting in my room, playing like Maple Story and Counter Strike, just like living in my mom's attic, just being like, it's like I'm gonna keep my mouth on this lifeline for as long as I can.
Oh,
I
how
don't know,
far we've all come, don't you think?